Just moments ago, Keir Starmer finally fired back at Nigel Farage after growing pressure and nationwide debate, raising serious political questions about Reform UK and the direction Britain is heading. This response is already triggering huge reactions across Westminster, and tonight the political temperature has risen again. Stay with me. The United Kingdom's political landscape has been rocked once again as Nigel Farage, former Brexit Party leader and founder of Reform UK, finds himself under scrutiny for alleged breaches of electoral law during his 2024 campaign in Clacton. According to a formal complaint submitted by a former campaign aide, key expenditures related to banners, leaflets and campaign office refurbishment were reportedly underreported or omitted entirely from official filings. These allegations suggest that total spending may have exceeded the legal cap for constituency campaigns, raising serious questions about the party's adherence to campaign finance regulations. While Reform UK has categorically denied any wrongdoing, insisting the claims are inaccurate, and from a disgruntled former member, the investigation has now drawn the attention of Essex police, who have confirmed they are assessing the matter. This investigation comes at a politically sensitive time. Farage, who has positioned Reform UK as a populist alternative to mainstream parties, has used his platform to challenge Labour, the Conservatives and government policies, particularly around immigration and social issues. In response to these developments, Prime Minister Keir Starmer has stepped forward with a strong public statement condemning what he describes as reckless populism and toxic proposals that threaten public trust. Starmer's remarks signal an attempt to differentiate Labour's approach to governance, emphasising integrity, accountability and adherence to the rule of law. By publicly highlighting the alleged failures of Farage's campaign, Starmer is also seeking to reinforce his image as a leader committed to transparency and fairness, in stark contrast to the accusations facing Reform UK. Beyond the immediate legal implications, the controversy has sparked wider debate about political ethics in Britain. Analysts have pointed out that even if no formal charges are ultimately filed, the allegations alone may damage Farage's credibility, weakening the appeal of Reform UK in constituencies across the country. Critics argue that these developments could also shape public perceptions of populist movements more broadly, reinforcing scepticism about parties that operate outside established norms and regulatory oversight. This tension underscores a broader trend in British politics, the clash between established parties and outsider movements, each seeking to define themselves in the eyes of voters while navigating the boundaries of legality and public accountability. The political repercussions extend beyond Farage and Starmer themselves. Labour supporters are closely watching how Starmer handles the situation, particularly in terms of whether his administration will pursue legislative or regulatory measures aimed at tightening campaign finance rules. Meanwhile, Reform UK supporters are rallying around Farage, framing the allegations as politically motivated attacks intended to undermine the party's credibility ahead of upcoming elections. This dynamic has heightened political polarisation, with debates over fairness, legality and public trust dominating headlines and social media discussions. The clash also highlights the increasing role of media scrutiny in shaping political narratives, as each statement from Starmer or Farage is amplified and dissected across multiple news outlets. Public opinion is a key factor in this unfolding story. Polling data suggests that both Starmer and Farage face challenges in maintaining positive approval ratings. While Starmer has attempted to position Labour as a party of integrity and accountability, critics argue that economic pressures and public dissatisfaction with government services continue to affect voter confidence. On the other hand, Farage's outsider narrative resonates with segments of the electorate frustrated by mainstream politics, particularly on issues such as immigration and national sovereignty. The intersection of legal scrutiny and public sentiment creates a volatile environment in which both leaders must carefully navigate their messaging, balancing political strategy with reputational risk. Finally, the ongoing investigation into Reform UK's campaign spending serves as a reminder of the importance of transparency and accountability in democratic systems. Legal outcomes aside, the incident has already influenced political discourse, shaping the way parties communicate with voters and highlighting the role of ethical governance in public trust. For Starmer, the situation offers an opportunity to consolidate support among voters who value integrity. While for Farage, it presents a challenge to defend his party's reputation and maintain momentum among his base. The unfolding drama between these two political figures illustrates the high stakes of modern UK politics, where legal, ethical and strategic considerations converge to influence both immediate outcomes and long-term political narratives. The allegations against Nigel Farage and Reform UK have triggered a wave of political reactions across the United Kingdom. Members of Labour, the Conservative Party and other political groups have weighed in, each attempting to frame the situation to their advantage. For Labour, Keir Starmer's response has been a strategic move to reinforce the party's commitment to legality, transparency and ethical governance. Starmer has publicly criticised the alleged spending irregularities, emphasising that adherence to electoral law is fundamental to maintaining public trust in democratic institutions. By taking a firm stance, he seeks to contrast Labour's leadership with what he portrays as the recklessness of Reform UK, portraying his government as responsible, accountable and principled in its approach to politics. Conservative MPs, meanwhile, have taken a more cautious approach, recognising the sensitivity of the investigation while also acknowledging the political opportunity it presents. Some members have criticised Farage's alleged misreporting of campaign expenses, framing it as evidence that outsider parties may not always meet the standards expected of traditional political organisations. At the same time, certain Conservatives have cautioned against over-politicising the investigation, acknowledging that legal processes must run their course and that public commentary should not prejudice the outcome. This balancing act demonstrates the delicate interplay between political strategy and legal prudence in modern UK politics, particularly when high-profile figures are involved. Reform UK has responded aggressively, defending Farage and questioning the motivations behind the allegations. Party officials argue that the claims are politically motivated and insist that all spending was compliant with the law. Farage himself has maintained a combative stance, framing the situation as part of a broader campaign by mainstream parties to undermine outsider movements. This approach resonates with segments of his voter base, particularly those disillusioned with Labour and Conservative leadership. By positioning himself as a target of establishment forces, Farage seeks to maintain loyalty among supporters while also drawing attention to the party's policy agenda, which emphasises stricter immigration rules, economic reform and challenges to perceived political elitism. Media coverage has amplified the political tension, with national newspapers, online outlets and broadcast channels analysing every development. Headlines highlighting Farage's potential electoral law breaches have dominated political news cycles, while commentary and opinion pieces dissect the implications for voter trust, electoral integrity, and the balance of power in Westminster. Analysts note that even without formal charges, the public perception of misconduct could influence voter behaviour in upcoming local and national elections, as ethical considerations increasingly inform electoral choices. Social media platforms have further intensified the debate with both Starmer and Farage, attracting widespread commentary, memes and political discussion that shape public discourse in real time. The broader political consequences are significant. Should the investigation substantiate the allegations, Reform UK could face legal penalties, fines, or even disqualification from certain electoral contests. Beyond the immediate legal implications, the situation may weaken Farage's credibility and diminish the perceived legitimacy of his party among undecided voters. For Labour, Starmer's strong response reinforces the party's narrative of responsibility and integrity, potentially solidifying support among voters concerned with ethical governance. Conversely, if the allegations are not proven, Farage may claim vindication and use the narrative of being targeted by the establishment to strengthen his outsider credentials. At the same time, the incident has sparked discussion about the broader integrity of the UK electoral system. Ultimately, the Starmer-Farage clash illustrates how allegations of misconduct can have far-reaching consequences beyond the immediate legal sphere. It affects public perception, party strategy, media narratives, and voter behaviour, shaping the political landscape in unpredictable ways. For Starmer, the situation represents an opportunity to consolidate credibility and demonstrate principled leadership. For Farage, it is a test of resilience and messaging skill, determining whether his outsider positioning can withstand scrutiny or whether it will be undermined by legal and reputational challenges. The unfolding scenario continues to dominate UK political discourse, signalling that the stakes for both leaders remain exceptionally high. As the investigation into Nigel Farage and Reform UK unfolds, political analysts, party strategists, and voters are closely monitoring how this situation will influence the broader trajectory of UK politics. The immediate legal outcomes are still uncertain, but even the ongoing scrutiny has already begun to shape public perception. For Farage, the challenge is twofold: defending the integrity of his campaign while maintaining his political momentum as a leading voice for Reform UK. Any misstep or unfavourable ruling could weaken his credibility, reduce voter confidence, and limit his party's ability to influence upcoming local and national elections. Conversely, successfully navigating the investigation without formal penalties could reinforce his outsider narrative, portraying him as a politician unfairly targeted by the establishment. For Keir Starmer, the stakes are equally high. By publicly addressing the allegations, Starmer is attempting to draw a clear line between Labour's approach to governance and the perceived recklessness of Reform UK. This response allows him to position Labour as a party of integrity, appealing to voters who prioritise ethical leadership and accountability. However, Starmer must also manage the broader context of government performance, including economic issues, public services and social policy. If Labour fails to address these ongoing concerns, Farage and other opposition figures could capitalise on voter dissatisfaction, potentially